Morning. Okay, hope we're all ready for another nice little workout. This is the last of our introductory series, so I hope you enjoyed it so far. And today we'll be doing a little bit more on blocks or blocking movements, because I don't necessarily think that what we tend to call blocks are actually blocks, and they're often strikes. But never mind, we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's get warmed up first. Let's bow. Good, and we'll start with the old side and close, yeah? So side together, side together. Right, now I hope you've been enjoying the sessions, obviously. And I hope that you've been able to do them each week. You've done each week's session. You've done each week's session maybe a couple of times, because then you get into a bit of a habit. Your body starts to get into routines and routines of breakfast. And you go forwards and back. So step forwards, step back. Just pay attention to which leg you're stepping forward with, because I'm going to get you a change in a moment. Just keep your knees nice and soft when you step. Good, right, and let's lead off with the other leg. And I hope that some of you feel inspired to go and try a class that's local to you, because any martial arts training is great, it's really good for you. But training on your own is not quite as good as anywhere near as good as being in a group of people, because you get that camaraderie and all the things that go with being in groups, especially martial arts groups. They're really very positive generally. Okay, opposite elbow to knee. Excuse me. There's these up nice and high. Hopefully you've noticed some improvements in your flexibility or even your fitness, I guess, since you've been doing these workouts. Give my legs about feet about twice as far apart as your shoulders, and then just ease and push one way. Just remember, this should be easy, should be nice and steady for you, nice and calm. Don't go crazy. Get over to the other side. Just gently push in. Good, then we'll go back the other way and just try and go a little deeper. Pushing more. That's good. Good, to the other side. You probably find that you're more flexible on one side of your body than the other. It's quite normal. The flexibility is different side to side. Our strength, all sorts of things, coordination. Yeah, good. Right. So pop one leg in front. We're going to do knee swings. We're going to swing our back knee up, bend your leg, and start to swing up this way. Right, don't go crazy. Get yourself warm gradually. So swing up, and back, swing up, and back. This is great for loosening up your glutes and your bum muscles and your lower back. Swing up, and drop back, nice and relaxed. I've got no idea how many this is, but there's a couple more. Get them to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Right. 10. Good. Right. So bring one arm across your chest this way. Just put the other arm behind it and pull it in. So you're stretching these muscles on the top of your shoulder, the back of your shoulder, and your a little bit on your back as well. Just really nice and gently, don't go crazy. Good. Then we go the other way. So other arm in, pull across. Good. Right. So you want a nice gentle job on the spot. Just moving really, so you're just lifting your heels up. I want you to push together with the palms of your hands, not too hard. Just get those shoulder muscles fired up a bit more. Get some blood flowing in them. Just interlock your fingers and pull the hands apart. Just keep this gentle movement going. And push again. And pull. Excellent. Okay, just pop one hand over your shoulder behind your head. Put your other hand on your elbow and just ease it backwards. So you're gently pulling that back. So this hand is behind you. And just gently pull this back this way. Nice and steady. Good, and then we'll change sides. The other hand over your shoulder or behind your head. Back on it. Good. Super. Okay, now gently circle one arm, big circles. I'll try to always brush my ear as I come around. And then I know I'm taking that shoulder through a good range of movement. And backwards. I'm a great believer in objecting when people say things like, "Oh, you're still doing that at your age," or "Shouldn't you be thinking about stopping that?" I think, oh goodness, no. The more things that I can do to keep my body able to do the full range of movement in as many places as possible, that's good. I want to make sure my shoulders work all the way through the range of movement that they always have done. And every other joint as well, so go backwards and out. Now, I'm not saying I do always have as much movement in all of my joints, but I certainly want to try to, once I get one forward on one back. So my goal is to maintain as much movement in all of the joints as possible. My hip joints seem a little bit less enthusiastic about the idea than I do. They don't do it badly. Good. Now across your body this way. Good. Now as you swing on, let your palms go upwards. Nice and gentle, don't force this. Super. Now, arm up, hand on your elbow, fingertips on your elbow, and just take this hand through inside and down. Again, all you're trying to do is get that shoulder joint warm. Let's get the other side. Okay, good. Now we do opening the gate. So just lift up, take your leg out. Up, and take it down. Up, and out. So there's a lot of talk in martial arts about which style is best, who teaches best, and all of these things. I have a little bit of a theory on this. To be honest with you, we live in a fairly safe world. And if martial arts gives you some confidence to conduct yourself in a more confident way, so let's do some straight leg swings. I'll come back to the thing else. So straight leg swings, do 10 on each side. I won't be able to count and talk, so I don't know how many I'll do it back. So if martial arts helps us to be more confident, whichever art it is, whoever teaches, and however good or poor the quality of the techniques, and if you enjoy it, then it's a good thing, because it will keep you more active than not doing it, for sure. So we mustn't worry too much about a potential adversary hurting us and us being effective when we ignore the fact that if we're sedentary, there'll be a different adversary, obesity or inactivity, that will definitely do us harm. And so let's not get too caught up with whose art is the best and the most effective. And instead, let's concentrate on enjoying ourselves, being active, staying active as we get older. And if what we learn helps us in a self-defense situation, great. But in reality, we probably won't have to ever use it. But as I said, we live in a fairly safe world, fairly safe environment. So we're likely to be okay. Good, right, and I've got a chair, so we can do some chair squats today. We didn't do much in the way of exercise last week. I'm not going to do a massive amount this week either. I think these are a nice thing to help get your legs warmed up. Right, so pop the chair behind you. You put your hands anywhere, except probably not on your legs. Although if you find this really difficult to start with, I suppose you could put your hands on your legs and help yourself up. But it's not really the aim of the exercise. All right, we're ready. We'll do 10 of these. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. By now I can't remember the details of this, but there is a test which is probably available online for older people. How many times you can stand up and sit down in 30 seconds? It's supposed to be quite a good indicator of your general fitness. So if you want to look it up, I think it's quite good fun. And it's quite nice to have these indicators, isn't it? So you can see what sort of shape you're in. All right, now we've done lots of punches. We've done several punches, hand techniques, and we've done 3 kicks. So I wanted to look at a 4th kick, but mainly I wanted to look today at blocks. Right, so we'll see how the blocks go, and if we can introduce a 4th kick, fine. But if the time is all used up in doing the blocks, then I think those things are perhaps more important than this level. All right, so just pop one leg in front in a fighting stance. Get your hands up. All right, now, first thing is these movements, we call them blocks, right, but in reality they're shapes, they're movements. And the only reason I'm saying to you, I always teach them to begin as blocks, because that's simpler and more straightforward. But in reality, they may well be strikes. Yeah, so you may well end up using them as strikes. So just think about that as we go through. All right, so we're going to start with downward block. I want you to really fold this way. So you're going to block down with this hand, the hand that's on the same side as your front leg, whichever leg you've got in front. And the action is going to be from high to low, high to low. And I'm going to put the other hand underneath it to cover space, to make this nice pulling action, right? And for several other reasons that I probably don't need to explain to you at this level, but it's a good protocol, it's a good habit to get into. Right, so we're going to forward and block down. Now, do you have your hand open or hand closed? Well, if you have your hand open, you can reach further. You've got the length of your fingers that will give you a bit further reach. But you also have the danger that your fingers will be damaged if you're blocking something, because fingers are less stable and a bit more fragile than when you close your hand and make a fist. Close your hand, make a fist, obviously you lose maybe 4 inches of reach. Probably a sensible thing to do to start with that, all right? So let's do it with a closed hand. So we'll close both of our hands, ready? 1, forward, and block down. 2, push down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, let's change legs. If I turn this way, you can see a bit more of the movement I'm doing. Right, so ready? 1, forward, 2, forward, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Right, now a question here that I often get asked is, should I be leaning into this or should I be this way? Right, well, the answer really is whether you're using this as a strike, in which case I would want to go forward, I would want to go move into my opponent this way. But if something was coming towards me that I wanted to stop making contact with me, I would probably go and draw away from it. So there are your options, really. In your mind, just think about what it is you're doing. Are you striking? Are you blocking, being quite aggressive, quite dominant? Or are you blocking, drawing away and making more space between you and your opponent? And the answer, the one you want to practice is the one you want to think about doing. Yeah? Does that make sense? Anyway, all right. So let's go to upper blocks. Now, the same thing applies in reverse. So I want the longest possible amount of movement. So I'm going to start low and sweep my hand up high. Okay, so I'll sweep low and start bring my hand up high. But at the same time, I bring this hand up, it covers. So this is good. This is me being covered and then covering up. Right, and then this hand comes down and I get this pulling action where my hands pull apart. Yeah. And this hand coming back, this can be lots of things, but again, I don't want to get into it on a beginner level. All right, so we're going to go forward and block. We'll call it block. Yeah. All right, ready? So we're going to forward, block, forward, block. Now, obviously, this block covers something coming around from this side, or something coming straight down, or something coming towards me straight away, so I can push that up and away here. One second here. 5, 6, forward and block, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, right, let's change legs. Go this way again, just so you get a different view. Ready? 1, forward, block. 2, forward, block. 3, block. 4, forward, block. 5, forward, block. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, right, so the same things apply about forward and backward movement to upper block as they do downward block. So if I was moving in, I want to move in on my opponent, cover, maybe this would actually be a strike rather than a block. But even if it was a block that I wanted to do going forward, being aggressive, I could move in. Same thing again, if the person was throwing a punch maybe towards me, or a kick that I wanted to get away from or take the sting out of, I might lean back and walk up this way. Right? And the stance changes a little bit, doesn't it? So when I'm doing this, this is more like what we would describe as a forward stance. And this would be a back stance. Yeah, I'm pulling my weight back. Right, but these are all things that are more complicated than maybe you need right at the beginning of the information. The most important thing to begin with is getting this action. So this is good. All right, so this action is what we're going to do next. This is side block. So the hand's going to come from across my body, outward this way. So across this way. All right, and again, I'll use the other hand. So cover, open, block here. So cover, and then block with this hand. So this would be for something maybe coming around this way, a circular attack this way, or maybe something coming straight towards me in front that I want to push out of the way. Yeah, so there are lots of uses for it. If you're at side blocks, you can do it at any height. Do it here. We tend to teach it in classes about this height because we have upper block for higher and downward block for lower, so this sort of covers the middle ground. All right, are we ready? So we're going to forward and block. Ready? 1, forward, block. 2, forward, block. 3, forward, block. 4, forward, block. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Change sides. And again, I'll go this way so you get a different view. Here, ready? 1, forward, block. 2, forward, block. 3, forward, block. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, forward, block. 9, block. 1 more, 10, forward, and block. Good. Okay, so there are your 3 what I would call outward going blocks. So this one goes outwards, this one goes away from me, this one goes out and away from me. And then we're going to do inside block, which comes across our bodies. Right? So pop one leg in front, and whichever leg you have in front, sweep this hand across in this direction. Now the fold for this is this. I would bring my hands up this way. So this is my cover. You know, in the other blocks, this has been my cover, or this has been my cover. So let's call this my cover. And I'll come across this way. So cover, block, cover, block. Okay, are we ready? Here we go. 1, cover, block. When this technique would take away something coming towards my face straight, or my midsection straight, push this way, or something coming around in this direction. Stop it. Here we go. 3. Hands up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Change legs. I'll do this one facing the camera because you don't need to get a very good view of what I'm doing from the side on an inside one. Okay, so I'll do it facing the camera. 1, forward, block. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Right, I will just briefly turn this way to again explain. Cover. Do I want to go in to my opponent to push that technique away, or do I want to come away from them to take the sting out of their technique? There are good reasons for doing either, but it would take far too long to go into all those reasons here. It's much better that I just show you the shapes and you learn to practice the shapes. And then as the shapes become a habit, then you can think about what you can do with the shapes. That may seem a bit odd, but trust me, I think it's a much better way to do it. If you get too bogged down in detail too early on, it's going to become a really intricate thing. Now, let's look at counterattacks, because my theory on blocking is if someone throws a technique at you, what you need to do as quickly as possible is to change it around into them having to defend rather than just keep attacking you. What I say in class quite often is if you just block, you just do another block, and then another block, and another block, and another block, but all you end up doing is defending. The idea surely is to turn the thing around as quickly as possible. So you defend and counter-attack, so you immediately make that pendulum swing back in the other direction. Right, now we've done reverse punch, and it's a really useful technique to use, mainly because if we block with our front hand, this one's available, the other one's available. Okay, so let's pop one leg in front, and we'll do off the block. So I want you to imagine you're pushing away a technique that's coming towards your face, maybe a punch coming towards your face. You're going to push it up this way, and you're going to counter attack with your own punch. Right, so just straight with your back hand this way. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, block, counter attack, punch. Yeah. 2, block. 3, block, punch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right, I'll switch legs and I'll turn in this direction. So we have to block up like this and twist in and punch. Right, now remember, I can counter-attack with any technique. I'm just using a reverse punch because it's simple. The hand is here. If we do this blocking action, this hand will be pulled back anyway. So it's an ideal position to throw the punch. All right, ready? 1, block, punch. 2, 3, block, punch. 4, punch. 5, block, punch. 6, block, punch. 7, block, punch. 8, block, punch. 9, block, punch. 10, block, punch. Oh, good. Now, something that's just occurred to me. You may be thinking, well, hold on, what about if I don't make this very neat movement and execute it as exactly as it should be? Will it still be effective? Yeah, of course it will be effective. It may be a tiny bit less effective than if it was a perfect action. Yeah, so if I'm looking at going forward, block, counter-attack, if I can manage to get all of those things pretty much spot on, so I cover like this, pull my hands apart, I get that block driving up to its ideal position, and then I'm in a perfect position to twist in and counter-attack with a punch. Great. Everything goes to the highest value and the most likely to succeed. But that doesn't mean it's not worth doing if it's not perfect. You know, if someone's trying to punch my arm, I may end up going, ugh. All right, and that's better than doing nothing. So it's all it's a slog, isn't it? I would like to do everything perfectly every time, but in reality, I know that's unlikely. Okay, so the more I practice, the more likely I am to get close to doing a good technique if I ever need to in reality. And this is what we love about sparring. When we're in a class and we spar, you know, we've got play fight. That's the closest that we can get to real fighting without doing each other any injuries. I think it's really good practice because you have to respond to things coming towards you and then look for counter-attacks. All right, so staying on the theme of counter-attacks, let's do a downward block and counter-attack. Yeah? So I'll counter-attack mainly with a punch, but I could block and kick, or block and knee. So I'll throw some of those in as well. You know those techniques, right? So you can do the same, but you're going to fold, yeah, big movement, push down, pull this hand back. This would be ready to use as a punch if you want to punch with it. You could punch, or you could kick or knee, or you could do all of them if you want. Probably difficult to do kick and a knee, but you could block a knee, block, punch a knee, block, punch and kick. I don't want to overcomplicate this for you. I'll just mix it up, okay? Ready? One, so you can fold, block. I'll punch on the first one. Two, fold, block, knee. Three, fold, block, knee. Four, fold, block, punch. Five, fold, block, kick. Six, fold, block, punch, knee. Right, don't worry about getting complicated. Seven, fold, block, punch. Eight, fold, block, punch. Nine, fold, block, punch. 10, fold, block, punch. Good. All right. So you get into my. Let's change legs and do it the other way. And again, I'll turn this way. Ready? One, forward, block, punch. Two, forward, block, knee. Three, forward, block, punch, knee. Four, forward, block, punch, kick. Five, forward, block, punch. Six, forward, block, punch. Seven, forward, block, punch. Seven, punch to the knee. Eight, forward, block, knee. 10, forward, block, and kick. Good. Right, I'm just trying to show you some options really, how to mix things up. And this is the great thing about karate. Once you have some components, you can start to put together things that are great. You can make your own things up, your own little combinations that work really well for you. And it is good fun, really good fun. And there's no real right or wrong. This is the benefit of training on your own. There is no right or wrong. You just get the movement and get the action and get the activity. All I would say is don't get too into your own combinations if you intend to go to a class, because the class may have set combinations that they like you to learn, and they've probably thought them through. They probably did them for a good reason. So, go with what they want to do. All right, so let's just do one more of these combinations with another block. Let's use a different hand stroke. We've also done back fist, haven't we? Remember back fist, where you lift the elbow, flick out and swing? So let's put that after an inside block. So we're going to block and swing, lift our elbow up, and counter attack. And so we're going to block, technique, maybe a punch coming straight towards us. We push it out of the way, lift our elbow, back fist counter attack. Right, shall we give that a try? Ready? One, block, elbow up, counter attack. Two, block, elbow up, counter attack. Three, block. Four, block. 5, block. 6, block. 7, block. 8, block. 9, block. Counter. 10, block. Counter. Good. Change legs. I'll show you this way. You're going to come across this way and block. Elbow up. And flick it out. Ready? 1, block. Counter attack. 2, block. Counter attack. 3, block. Counter attack. 4, fold. Block. Counter attack. 5, hold. Block. Counter attack. 6, block. 7, fold, block, 8, fold, good. Now, please don't get into this thing of saying, well, Richard told me this, therefore it must always be right, and nobody else's opinion that's different could possibly be correct. It's just not true. You know, different people have different ways of looking at things. And it's always good to take on board everybody's perspective and see what you can make of it. You know, I've had people do something a different way to me, and I thought, wow, that really doesn't make any sense until they explain why they do it that way. Then it makes sense. And I think, okay, yeah, I can see why you do it like that. That's okay, you know. Really, as long as there is a reason for it and someone can explain it, then great. Good. All right, so I really enjoyed doing these 6 sessions. I hope you've enjoyed them as well, and we'll see where we go from here. You know, so if you're inspired to go to a local class, I'm so pleased. And if you would like to carry on with these sessions, please let me know in the comments, or comments is best, or private message on either Facebook or the Blackboard Academy page, and we'll go from there. All right, thanks very much. Stay fit, stay healthy.